Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome along to the Boise Bus with a little bit of a twist tonight. You might have noticed there wasn't a massive intro. And I must also put a disclaimer there, we are not live right now. So their comments will not be coming up on our screens because, yeah, this is a pre-recorded one. A new little idea. We've got a wee 10-minute show. We're going to call it the Bus Stop. It's a little look back on the week that we've just had and a look to what's coming up this week, a little preview of what's coming up on the bus, and also we'll be talking about Celtic very, very briefly as well. So obviously, I am Phil McGinley from the Voice Wish, you know me now, and of course, you know this man to my side. I'm joined by the main man himself, the bus driver, Russell Boyce. How the devil are you tonight, mate?
Very well, mate. Good. It's good to do these sort of things. Just get, let's let everyone know what we're all about and what we're going to be doing this week. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, totally, man. It's just a wee confab, just a wee get together, just a wee quick thing, just to say, this is what's going on the bus and that. Just keep the
This is our HQ. This is our HQ. This is the hub.
This is it. You're in the actual bus station yourself. As I've called it the bus stop, it's actually a bus station. So welcome aboard, everybody. As I say, we no 2-minute intro tonight. So, but no, we'll just get into it then. So, Russell, let's have a wee talk then about events so far in terms of on the park for Celtic this week. It's been a big week, hasn't it?
It's been a big week in the sense that I think the team's got a lot right this week, because the attitude today at Livingston was, for me, Phil, night and day from what we've seen in yesterday. We spoke about it on PMP earlier, but generally I just feel the team could have been a wee bit deflated, like any hopes of Europa League qualification, for example. It went out the window midweek, despite the fact, obviously, we put in another probably a decent display in Europe. But the boys have shown, this is the one thing you've got to respect, is Andrew's putting hoodoos to bed, and he's put Livingston to bed. And
yes,
I actually think when you look at now that the post-mortem has been had, I think even, Martindale, there we say his name, I think genuinely, Phil, there's a respect for even from him that this team don't give a shit about records, form, etc. We just go and get the job done now. And today we proved that.
We did indeed. Now, I watched PMP earlier on. I was one of the many in the live chat, and there was a couple of things that came up, and I want to just ask you on this one, because is Jonathan's wallet safe at Christmas yet? Is that Aaron Moy shirt going to be in the post here? Because there's a few comments that you and Mark and Terry seem to conveniently miss, where people are like, you owe Aaron Moy an apology. How do you feel about that? Because through the week you were pretty cutting about him, and I think justifiably so in the Shakhtar game. I don't think he's the type of guy you throw on to win a game against Shakhtar. But today, he had no too bad a game. But yeah, some people in the chat were like demanding that you apologise to Aaron Moy.
Yeah, well, listen, look, you're aware of the comments probably more than me. As you know, when you drive the bus, Phil, it can be difficult at times, right? Because you're trying to manage a million comments, and you're obviously trying to stay engaged with the co-drivers. Our passengers come first, as always. But you're in a situation where you're trying to listen to Terry, you're trying to listen to Mark, who make such compelling arguments and debate every time they're on, that you can't help but being like, you're listening just to everything they're saying. Comments like that, and maybe I've missed. You're right to pull me up on that tonight, right? You're right. Because Ange's got a thing with Moy I don't see, but he knows football better than me, right? There's no getting away. There's no getting away from it.
Yeah.
I think Moy's being afforded an opportunity greater than other Celtic players that arrived in the shape he was, the out of sorts he was, the out of match fitness, the out of form, his age, that other players would have been. However, it doesn't take away from the fact, when you look at, and I always argue this, so I can't be hypocritical, when you look at his last 90 minutes, which we've seen today, did he have a good game? Yeah, I think he did. I think he played well today. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult when it feels like you're on a pedestal at times. And you know what? You're always on a pedestal when you're on a Celtic pod, all right? And there's a lot of people that are on your side. People can be against you, or people can hold you to account for opinions you gave a million years ago. Opinions change out the wind. Celtic's form can change out the wind. Aaron Moy right now, he's having a bit of a purple patch, albeit he got the nod today when I thought you know, I look at him getting the nod based on what I seen midweek, and then I look at other players not getting the nod. That frustrates me. But on the you know, the sole question of Aaron Moy, did I think he did well today? Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I still think Jonathan's money for Christmas is still safe though, because that was the bet at the start where you said to him, "I'll tell you what, Jonathan, if Aaron Moy's any good by the time we get Christmas, you can buy me a Celtic shirt with Moy on the back of it."
I think that wee bastard's already got that printed. By the way, I swear to God.
Going to surprise you with it on Christmas Day. There you go. You always wanted one. But you were talking there about comments in the live chat. So I think we need to address the elephant room, because speaking of comments outside of the live chat that we engage with on every show, there has been some comments going around in the Celtic YouTube sphere this evening and over the last few nights. Some things been thrown at yourself, the rest of the team. Do you wish to speak about them in any way, shape, or form just now?
Well, what I would say, before we even go into that, right, what I will say is this is going to be a weekly show. Perhaps it's been triggered, shall we say, Phil, by stuff that's happened tonight, which we're about to talk about. However, I want to do this every week, because I've got strong opinions on a lot of stuff that happens, whether it be usually it's Celtic Twitter. If we're being honest, I want to touch on that quite often, don't I? Like Celtic Twitter, I find that a bit frustrating. Tonight it's been Celtic YouTube. Well, it turns out it was Friday night. One thing I'll say, I've got a hell of a lot of respect for anyone who puts their opinion in front of a camera, like in these sort of vibes. And I've worked with you now for, fucking hell, Phil, 10 months, nearly 11 months.
Yeah, yes.
Now, in that time, you'd never, ever been on a Celtic pod, right? I think that's fair.
Yep, that's fair.
You've never done anything like this, really. Nope. I had the blessing of being on, if you want to call it that, on another pod. I was well versed in all this. I wasn't fazed by any of it. People like you, people like Terry, who are now household names on the bus, you know, Mark Kearney, household name on the bus, David Logues, etc. I could go on and on. These guys have felt comfortable enough to come on this show week after week after week after week after week. And that's been working with me. To see comments and stuff on other channels calling us all wankers, I find it harsh. And by the way, I want this to be clear. Tonight's not about them. Tonight I want this to be a regular thing. I want probed. I want my thoughts to be asked, and I want you to challenge me, Phil, because right now I feel like in a situation where anyone who's got airs or graces, this is some sort of echo chamber I run, are way off the mark, way off it. The only reason this concept ideas came up is because of a conversation between you and myself, where you felt the need to go, well, why don't folk hear it for your point of view, Boise? Why don't you? Why don't you let me ask you? Rather than it just be phone calls that, you know, if folk heard that, they might go, he's not really done all that wrong. And I think what's happened this weekend has been an exaggeration, to say the least. We've been in a situation where there should have been a celebratory mode, I felt, from their camp, you know, whatever that pod is. I respect what they've done. I've never slagged them off once. But when I hate being like this, but my team criticised like that, everyone's just cast as a wanker. I find that hard to take, Phil. I don't really think it's on. I thought tonight they didn't back down the double down. If I'm honest.
Well, yeah, to coin your phrase, yes, they did. They did indeed.
But these are guys that, you know, the host asked to come on this channel only 7 days before he called us all wankers. That is a fact. I don't know why he denied that tonight on his own stream. I wish him well. I hope he does okay. But, you know, I think stuff like that is unpalatable. We don't need that. Like, I've done, I think the podcast wars stuff, I've been there, seen that, done that. I think I had enough. I'd put in so many hours into that I felt aggrieved for a reason. This character's got beef. I can't even begin to understand why.
It's I mean, when you consider, when you're talking about the team, we've got guys who are like living in 8 hours behind us in a different time zone, who get up at the crack of God knows what time to watch a game, stay on the entire time, and then come on a PMP at 7:30 in the morning his time. You know, to see things like, you know, saying that everyone on the bus wankers and all that, and it's like, come on now, man. You know, you're better than that, really. So, and from my own point of view as well, it's like, I like to think I'm one of the most sort of placid, balanced people on here. I don't really ruffle many feathers. The idea that I'm on here to be some kind of YouTube celebrity or something is absolutely false. As you said, I had never done anything like this. I literally messaged you when you were putting the offer out there about, you know, if you want to come on the Double Doon show, you want to come and talk about a Celtic, do the quiz, then message me. And I did. And then when you got back to me and were like, aye, cool, February 18th or whatever it is, I was like, oh, shit, I've got to do this now. Oh, no. So, yeah, like, literally, I didn't even think before I did it. And I was like, oh, God, so that's literally, you know, how it's all happened. So to see and hear some of the stuff that's been said, it's like, it's disappointing, but to say, that's what it is.
Well, listen, Phil, I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, we've built something organically a lot of the time, right? A lot of the folk who've been on the bus, as I say, I've never done any of this type of thing before. That's all right. It was all for me about giving folk an opportunity, because I always felt when you were on that pod, which is massive, right? There's no getting away from it. But I hated the we know more than them.
Yeah.
Us, the podcasters and the viewers, but I always felt everyone's opinions is equal as each other's. Let me just get normal Joes on here. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, let's have it. And that's how we became so interactive. But do you know what I mean? The shite like today, just you don't need it. But do you know what? I've seen this. It's not normally YouTube, it's normally Twitter you're talking about. Do you know what I mean? And I think every week, fucking ask me about it, because I'm happy to call it like it is, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, indeed. This is we'll also look at more positive stories now. Say we're going to have a wee preview of what's coming up on the bus this week. So yeah, Russell, obviously we are in a position now where we can do 7 days a week, which you've talked about in the summer. So that is a plan this week, I believe, going forward, because we have got a midweek game again. We've now got the breakfast bar being added. So I think this coming week it is a position where we could do seven days, yeah?
Well, I just feel like when I say things, I mean them. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean, Phil. It doesn't always look like that. A guy with blonde highlights and silly hair. People don't want to hear that. But the honest truth is, I've always wanted to get to a stage where we're providing content that was real, it was authentic, and it was as regular as you can manage, whilst you also realise you have a full-time job and the team that you work with also have full-time jobs, and they really aren't getting any pay out of this. And anyway, the kids on wearing this for the wrong reasons or whatever, I'd love to know what the fucking reasons are then, because I'm still trying to find them, Phil. Right? I'm still trying to find these dark reasons, you know what I mean? But what we are trying to do is bring something every day that piques interest and never be controversial for controversial's sake. I'll say it one more time. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. But the 7 days thing, it seemed like a whim. It seemed like when we were coming up with that in the summer, I remember, like, even you on the other end of the phone, you were like, hi, boys, it sounds good, but we're working out ways to do that. Celtic being in Europe would have helped. That'd be the whole season. But realistically, we're looking at a situation where this week, for example, we'll do the Monday Club, which is our staple show. Tuesday, is it Tuesday? Tuesday we're in Madrid? Is it Wednesday we're in Madrid?
We are playing on... Yeah, I'll check that. I know. Well, that's the thing. Even though I said it's
You're the stato, Phil. You're the stato.
I know. I should have known this. I believe it's Wednesday.
See me flinging the blame on him.
We played Tuesday last week, didn't we? So I've got to be Wednesday, isn't it? But that is Wednesday, 2nd November. Yeah.
That's okay. But that'll mean there'll be 2 shows on the Wednesday, because we'll do the breakfast bar the Wednesday morning. We'll have the PMP, as it's now known, on the Wednesday night. Everyone can work out why we're calling it PMP now. We'll have the TNF Thursday. We'll be back to your unbelievable series, Bustalgia, Friday. Then we've got our weekend's reaction. Obviously, that's going to be very different because it's my birthday this weekend, so the shows might be a wee bit delayed. I would rather go out with my pals and we work out doing a PMP on the Monday through the day, or whatever it is, or the Sunday, whatever it might be. But you can see where we're coming from here, why we're growing the channel. What we're doing is we're finding ways, and we're trying to find niches in the market in terms of hours, because the pre-recorded stuff, Phil, this is a one-off for us, really. We're going to make it every week because I want you grilling me, mate. I'm happy to be. I was upset by some stuff today, but I'm happy to be questioned on it, and I don't need it sugar-coated, mate. Like, I know who I fucking am. And anyway, I feel we're now in a situation where we are going to take the channel to a place where, whether it be 7 days, there will be at least 7 shows a week.
Yeah, I get what you mean there.
And I think that speaks volumes for something that is being done, we cannot deny, on top of everyone who's on it, working a full-time job. I mean, like, what more can you ask for? And you know, the contributors and the viewers have been unbelievable in getting the channel to this stage where, we have to be honest here, Phil, it stimulates you when you see subscribers numbers going up, or the comment section is lively. And one thing I will always say, and I know you agree with this, we've always wanted the debate, have we not?
We have, yeah, but it seems like a lot of people recently, and like comments they've left under videos, are talking about the word echo chamber keeps coming up. And it's like, just because me and Russell happen to agree on something doesn't mean he's told me pre-show, oh yeah, Phil, make sure you say that. Maybe because I think it's a sensible point he's made and I just happen to agree with him. That's just the way it is. I mean, if these people not watched, for instance, shows where yourself and Mark are on at the same time, there's a lot of pushback there. But this whole echo chamber on the Boise bus, I don't know where it comes from. I really, really don't. And it's nothing wrong if 2 people on the bus happen to agree with the same point.
Yeah.
It happens. But it seems like some people want us to just disagree for the sake of it. Well, that would be us being fake then at that point, Russell. That would be us abandoning our principles. I'm just going to be controversial for the sake of it here. No, if Russell makes a good point that I'm to agree with, whether I laugh at it or just go, no, I totally agree with you, Russell. There's nothing more I can really add to that point, you know? That's just organic. That's just the way it is. But it seems like a few people recently want to kind of shit stir a wee bit and try to say, oh, you know, look at this echo chamber here on the podcast. It's not at all. There's no script at all. Other than Bustalgia, I do send notes out to the guys because I'm just an organizer. That's the way I am. That's the only script, if you want to even call it that. It's just a running order, essentially. But other than that, most of the shows are just done on a whim. It's just like, let's go live. Let's just go and do it.
We shoot the breeze. Well, one thing we've always tried to do was be authentic in the way that it was never going to be everything that Phil says or Boise says. I get a reply of, absolutely. I hate all that shit. I think it's generic. I think it's bullshit. I've always wanted debate because, you know why? I'm humble enough to know, Phil, just because you've got a channel doesn't mean you know more about football, boys. In fact, I'm the furthest from that sort of realm in the world. I genuinely don't think I know more about football. I think I've got strong opinions on it, which I like to think I can back up because I mean them, but that doesn't mean that it can't be challenged and it can't be, you know, critiqued. I want that. And I also believe that is the same when it comes to Glasgow Celtic, that we can watch them. We also can challenge decisions that are made by the manager. We can challenge players who are out of form or in form, whatever it may be. And I think that's all absolutely fair. But Phil, we're going to carry on doing that, man. Do you know what I mean? And you know, it's been a weekend of, I don't want to give people like kudos when they don't deserve it, quite frankly. But I don't like when you're getting told, you know, you came on a channel or a bus or a pod, whatever they want to call it, and you get told all this, like, then you were like led up a garden path. I mean, you know, these people asked to come on.
Yep.
These people wanted to be on it, and then if they didn't like it, that's fine. Go back and do your own thing. No one cares. But, you know, if you still keep asking me to come on it, even though you've left, and you're not telling your contributors that, but while slating the same bus that you wanted to come on to, I don't get that. And, you know, I went through a lot of this bullshit before. And the one thing I always felt was really authentic was people knew I was having pops, maybe, at times, at a wee fella. But I think, at the same time, that all said, had it not been for his channel, I may not have been in the position we'd have had as many subscribers at this as quick a rate initially. Albeit, what we've done since has been unbelievable. And thanks to the likes of yourself, likes the other people that I've mentioned, and those I've not mentioned, they're all by part of that. But the bus right now is just something where I want it to be a free-for-all. I don't mind it being the Wild Wild West when we're on here and shots are fired, Phil. I actually think we thrive in that environment. And do you know what? We don't want to get to a stage where everything becomes about other podcasts and all that. We just want to do our thing And to me, slagging off Bob McBob, for example, in the comments for being a Rangers fan, that'll do me, mate. You know, that'll do me. Like, and even he can take it better than some of your supposed so-called fans of the same team.
Yes, indeed. Well, as you say, on that note of doing our own thing, I said at the start of the show there's maybe 10-minute thing, but as all well-laid plans, it never quite works out. We were on 20 minutes just now. So, yeah, that was just the first episode of the Bus Stop. We'll be doing this on a weekly basis, a wee sort of powwow of what's happened this week and what's coming ahead this week on the bus. So, yeah, plenty more content being churned out.
Loads to look forward to.
Loads to look forward to, yes, indeed. So, yeah, we'll call it there. So, thank you, Russell, for taking a wee 20 minutes out of your time there to talk about a few things, a few big subjects, you know, just to get some stuff off your chest. I know how much it meant to you, and even myself.
Every week,
well,
mate.
You know?
Every week, mate. Every week, mate. We'll be doing that every week, man. And Monday. Yeah. Monday Club. 9 p.m. tomorrow.
Be there. Be square, guys. Right, we shall see you after, folks. Cheers.